All right, it's time for Yogi and the Beach Man. Hi, I'm Jim the Yogi.
And I'm Rick Beach, the Beach Man.
We're two Michigan transplants now living in Southwest Florida.
In fact, we're cousins born in 1964, just a month apart.
I like to meditate.
And I like to play bass in a band.
I'm into chanting Om.
And I'm into throwing down some classic rock.
But together, we're on a mission
to promote people that are helping other people.
We want to make the world a better place.
One conversation at a time.
So sit back,
turn up the volume,
and get ready to laugh.
Because we like to have fun
while we spread the love.
Interviewing lovely people, yes, we have fun.
Welcome to Yogi and the Beach Man. Today we are talking to Resa McLaney. She's the owner of Prana Farms, intuitive holistic healer. She's a massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, and she also does quantum hypnosis healing technique practice. So welcome, Resa.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you on the show. I'm Jim, by the way, Jim the Yogi.
And you know me, Resa. I'm Rick Beach, the Beach Man. And yeah, Resa and I, we've known, how long have we known? Probably 10, 12 years. We've kind of were acquaintances in the last 5, 6 years, got to be better friends and stuff, and get to know each other better. So she always gives a
from
good
the solar
vibe.
business. From the solar business.
Yep, true. And I'm still in the solar business. So
how'd you fare? Yeah.
How did you fare in the recent storms in Punta Gorda, where your farm is located?
Well, the last one was it was a lot of wind. We didn't have a lot of rain, so there was salt in the air, and a lot of the trees, the plants got burned. They turned brown from all of the salt, and they didn't get rinsed off because there wasn't a lot of rain. So
I was wondering about that because I've seen a lot of plants in the area and trees have turned brown. I just thought it was from the agitation from the wind. It's actually from the salt.
It was the wind and the salt, because we didn't really have rain to wash them after, to wash it off of there. And there was a film on everything. So luckily, my partner knew, and he ran the sprinklers for like 5 hours after the storm, and it rinsed them all off. But everything that didn't get rinsed seemed to do not well at all. It was just a lot of salt in the air and in the rain that did come.
It almost resembles fall color change, but if you look close, it's just turning brown. And my 2 hibiscus out front, I've been picking off dead stuff. All the plants,
certain plants, the hibiscus didn't do well. We have a salad plant that didn't do well. I think the figs and the mulberry, they didn't do well, but just certain ones, anything in the hibiscus family didn't like it at all.
Interesting. So I know Rick's known you for years, but please tell me about yourself and how you got into co-owning Prana Farms.
Well, I guess it started probably back in like 2003. I got sober, and I started, kind of, yeah, it is a good thing. I started, I guess, awakening is what you would call it, and discovering different healing techniques and crystals. And I studied all of the different energy modalities. Every time I would find a new one, I would just study it and read everything and learn all about it, and then practice it. And then I would find a new one. And so that's just kind of my passion. I just always want to help people. I always want to heal people, but also myself. I've got a lot of issues, nerve issues, back issues. And so I'm always trying to make myself feel better as well. So it's just trying to heal everything. So I got my massage license and was practicing Reiki, and came across Mike, and we did a few different things. He's a boat captain. So we went out on the sailboat and had some adventures, and then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, everything shut down and we couldn't play on the boat anymore. So somebody had given us 2 chickens and we're sitting there looking at these chickens thinking, what are we going to do next? Like the boat, you can't, COVID shut it down. So we just knew as soon as we saw those 2 chickens that it was time for a farm. And so, so I don't know, it just was, okay, here it is. And so, but everything I want to incorporate holistic in everything in my life. So from
Hmm.
my food to, everything that I put in my field, I want to be as natural as possible. So that's what I wanted for the farm. I wanted to incorporate that, you are what you eat, and the cleaner your food is, the cleaner you are. And just all of the spirituality that I have, I wanted to incorporate in this farm. And that's kind of what I done. So it's just developed from 2 chickens into a full nursery with all of the food plants and a food forest and chickens. And we've had pigs and cows and turkeys and ducks. And right now on the corner, we have a fall festival with a pumpkin patch and bounce houses and a petting zoo. And we're doing, right now, I think it's just Friday and Saturday night, we're doing a haunted walk, which is a lot of fun. And it's through the animal coops, which are really kind of creepy anyway at night,
Oh, neat.
because we've got like the red lights and you can kind of see and hear the animals. And it's a lot of fun. And the neighborhood kids come in swarms. My sister was running the cash register, and I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Hotel Transylvania, where the wolves kind of just, the wolf children, the cubs, attack everything. She says
Yeah,
these kids came up and the doors open on this car, and she said it was like the wolf cubs just attacked these bounce houses. She said they were everywhere. These kids are having a blast.
that's so
So
cool.
it's amazing how many parents just come and thank us for doing it, and it's a lot of work, and we don't have a lot of help. And it's dealing with, volunteers and learning how to interact with other people. And there's so many challenges that are just, it's very good though, because there's so much growth there. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody is interacting in the community, and it's got a very good feeling to it. And it's like I said, even though it's a lot of hard work,
Sure.
it's
Sounds
a
like
lot
you're
of
building
fun.
a microcosm spiritual community there, and
It, yeah,
that's not always easy.
everything. No, it's a lot of work. Everything on the farm is designed to be self-sufficient. So
Okay.
everything is designed to feed everything else. So, the bees and the pollinate the plants, and then you have your own chickens, and then you feed all of your waste from the plants to the chickens. And yeah, it's a process of, getting everything in place, and, not having a bunch of money to do it. So it's a little bit at a time here and there, and,
Yeah.
trying to make it all work,
Well, I've been privileged over the last, 2 or 3 years since you've had the farm. I've been out there when you first got it, and then, I'll come out 3 months later and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. And then 3 months later, whoa, wow, when did you get this? This is cool. And it's just
Yeah,
constant. So yeah, you're constantly making improvements and uh
it's a lot. And my partner, he moves very, very quickly, and it's hard to keep up. Um, we have a butterfly conservatory right now. Right now, it's
Wow.
very small. It's just like a 10 by 10 little um, mesh thing, but it is completely loaded with butterflies and butterfly plants and different species. So I'm sure that we'll grow on that. But it's something that, I mean, there's not a lot to do around here. So there's so many people that just want something somewhere to take the grandkids and the kids, and just to get out and be in nature and be around the animals. And like, again, like I said, I can feel energy, and I can feel the vibration of this property when these kids get on that corner and they just start playing and screaming and laughing, and you can just feel it all the way around. People driving down Vermont Road, you can hear them honking their horns, like you can see everybody's having this, like a big party, So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you mentioned your livestock and whatnot. What kind of plants are you growing?
We have all food plants, so like
Okay.
avocado, mango, papaya, banana, pretty much anything that you can eat and grow. Um, we pretty much carry. And then the butterfly plants, we work with different butterfly societies, and they are always looking for different plants for different butterflies. So we've got like every butterfly plant that we can find in the area, we have. And a little bit of landscaping stuff, like that's kind of more of a two order thing, because
Hmm.
we're very limited on space.
Sure.
We don't
So
have a space for trees.
yeah, I think certified organic has almost become a joke anymore with what they charge you and whatnot. How are you growing your crops and feeding your animals?
Well, the animals get a lot of vegetable waste. We also have hydroponics on the property. So we have three Connex containers, cargo containers that grow lettuce and herbs and things like that. So they get all of any waste from that, any waste from the nursery, any scrap around here. So, and then they do get a little bit of grain, but honestly, we don't sell as organics. We're not certified. It's so expensive to feed organic grain. Honest as it is right now, my chickens make no money. So I couldn't imagine how much I would have to charge for eggs if I was going to actually feed them organically. And again, it's such a small space. I don't really have the grazing pasture land for them. I'm actually considering phasing them out just because of that, because of the grain that I'm feeding them, and they don't have the natural space. And I'm thinking, maybe going
Well, it's
more
not
into
like
bees and honey.
well, I mean, I think if you went out there, Jim, and saw it, you'd say these chickens got plenty of room. It's not,
They have plenty of room. No, they do. They have plenty of room, but it's a lot of work to feed them grain. If they don't have enough green and you have to feed them only grain, it's very expensive and they don't pay for themselves. So you really need to have like grazing land. And that's one of the lessons we've learned with these little farms is you can do it, but you have to continually grow something green and fresh for them to eat, or you have to feed them grain. And when you buy grain, you really don't know what you're buying. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, I love the idea of it, but I have to find a better way to do it than the way that it's going right now. It's just too much processed stuff, I guess is the way I'm saying it.
It's just super duper. We talk about this often about just how expensive it is to eat right, and to try to not get any of the. But and like
you
were just
can't
saying, Jim.
Yeah.
It's being in an organic situation. What is certified organic? It's all really bullshit anyway.
You can't for what they sell it for. It's just darn near impossible to make it organic and sell it for that, because you're talking $35 for a bag of food, and you can't sell your eggs for what you pay for that food when you break it down. So you really have to have land for them to go and eat fresh stuff, and like, again, that's one thing I'm learning. So I think, again, I'm going to go more into honey and bees, I think, and more out of the livestock. Plus I don't eat chicken. So, and you know what I mean? It's like, I don't, we had pigs and cows, and I don't eat pigs and cows. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm just feeding these animals, and I have so it's very cool that I could do it. I think I wanted to see if I could do it. But I just really don't have a purpose for them in my life. You know what I mean? If you're not going to use the pig, then why do you have it and feed it? So I think I'm going to go into honey and things that are more that I'm actually going to use. So this farm is constantly morphing into what is functional and what suits what we need to do, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're friends with a couple of musician guys that are into the farming culture, farming in the city, because they both live up in Tampa,
Lakeland,
or up in the Lakeland area. So if I was going to come out to, and I'm in the beginning stages of this same thing too, like the Jones guys, they're kind of figuring it out. Well, I need to start trying to figure it out too, because I think over the past few years, I've really moved in the same direction that you two guys have been on for years. And I'm really kind of looking for, I really want to have my own garden in my backyard now that I just recently bought my house, and I have room for it, and where I have tomatoes and lettuce and blah, blah, blah. So if I would come out and, I don't ever even think we've ever talked about this. If I was to come out and see it, could you help me get started with that stuff of what I can
Well,
grow
that's what I was thinking. I can absolutely, I show a lot of people how to raise chickens and how to build a chicken coop and how to protect them from predators and how to incubate them, like the whole 9 yards. I've helped a ton of people, especially because I sell the chickens, I sell the chicks. Yeah, and there's a lot of people, a lot of homesteaders that absolutely just having a few chickens, you can grab your own eggs, you always have them fresh. It's a fantastic, beautiful thing. And I love being around the animals. They raise the vibration of the property.
What do you know the Charlotte County codes? I think it's 6 chickens per
I have no idea.
But they
I
don't
think
want you to have roosters. And the tricky part with that, and one of the reasons, again, I quit with the selling chickens is because chicken hens, if there's no rooster and they need somebody to protect them, there's the dominant hen can actually change sex and become a rooster. So
Wow.
I would
really.
sell hens to people that weren't allowed to have roosters, and they would return roosters to me. And it was, I couldn't do it anymore. It's like my customer service is like, I'm always going to return and I'm always going to take care of it, but I can't keep doing that because nobody wants the rooster, unless you eat chickens, which I don't, you know what I mean? I have to,
Right.
so then I have to get rid of a rooster, and that's just more work for me. So, again, chickens they're great for most people. It's just not my thing anymore right now. So
I was thinking more along the lines of the plants. I mean, because I know the few times
the
when they
plants
come.
are amazing. We have a food forest, so we have a whole little section of just fruit trees. So, um, because again, we don't have a lot of space, the bigger trees protect the smaller trees, and then underneath them, I'll put little rows of pineapples, and you could walk through there, and it's just all food, and I don't know if you've ever just taken a bowl and gone outside and picked a salad, but like we have like just wild spinach and lettuce growing, and I'll just take a bowl and go out there and pick greens and put them in with some fresh fruit and make a smoothie. And if you can eat your food within 15 minutes of picking it, it's considered a living food. So a living raw food is the best nutrition you can get. You're going to get, if you can do one smoothie a day with the nutrients of a living raw food in it, the rest of the day you can eat crap and feel okay about it because you have your nutrients for the whole day. You've taken care of what your body needs.
That's amazing. I've
So,
actually been doing a lot of green drink smoothies lately, and it just feels fantastic.
and people don't realize spinach in a smoothie is sweet.
Hmm.
They're afraid it's going to taste really, really bad. Carrots in a smoothie are almost too sweet. If
Carrots are really sweet.
just play with vegetables in there because they're so good for you, and they're completely different when they're blended with other flavors.
Hmm.
And
I eat a
coconut
lot of
milk.
spinach. I can just throw spinach in a bowl and just eat it. I eat it all the
If you
time.
grow
But
a
it's no.
wild spinach, we sell spinaches. If just as long as you give them water, you will always have food. You just keep water, and that will keep growing and keep feeding you.
So
Hmm.
I could come out and see you this weekend, and you could hook me up with like some spinach and some other greens that I can just because I have some area. I just don't know really where to get started.
Sure. And some like Cuban oregano. So some herbs to like if you feel like you're coming down with a cold or you've got anything going on with your respiratory, you just take a couple leaves from the Cuban oregano plant and crush them up and make a tea out of them. Put them in a tea ball, the metal tea balls, dunk them in some hot water with some honey. And again, you're going to get all of the nutrients the from nature, basically. Everything in nature is medicinal. It's just a matter of how you can ingest it and how much you can ingest. The poisonous stuff is the stuff they make the medicine out of. You have to
Yeah,
know what you're doing, but everything has its purpose. And if you can learn to use it, then you're going to feel amazing.
for sure. Now, you mentioned when we first talked about having people coming out to your farm and giving them a spiritual experience. Can you
I
explain that?
try to, well,
Like someone comes
I,
out and they're just like, oh, I want to go check out this farm. I drive by every day or whatever. How does that go for
well,
you? What?
everything is for me is on a case by case, person by person basis. I do things intuitively. I channel. So, if you come to the farm and we interact one on one, I there will be, I don't have words for it, but it's there's interaction with energy. There's exchanges when I'm around people. Energetically, things happen in the background that we don't realize.
Hmm.
So I might be here having a conversation with you, and you, especially you find out if you talk with somebody and you'll start getting tired. Energetically, you're in the background. I'm in the background cleaning you. I'm clearing you. I'm picking little things out of your energy field. I'm smoothing everything down. I am absolutely cleansing your field while we're sitting here having a conversation. And it's all on an energetic level, so you don't even realize it's happening. But a lot, you'll leave here and usually it's like you feel lighter. Anytime anybody has had any energy work done with me, or they're just like, I just feel lighter. I feel, like a weight has been lifted, or that's the only way I can really say it, is just lighter. And a higher vibration, a faster vibration is a lighter vibration. So basically, you're raising your vibration, you're clearing, some old things that you don't need anymore, traumas, blocked, energy, whatever it might be. But I've always done it naturally, intuitively, and I can't help it. So, and if I see somebody that just say has been through a lot, I'll find myself physically doing it. If they're very angry, if somebody's over there sitting there very angry, I can't help it. I will physically have to clear that out of my field, because I'm empathic. So that I take on the emotions around me. If I focus on somebody, I know exactly what they're feeling. If I focus hard enough, I can typically I can tap into them and just connect and basically tell what they're thinking and what they're feeling. And so that helps me have a conversation with them and help them understand what's bothering them. So usually people will just come to me and start unloading their problems, because they're sent, kind of, the universe sends them to me. They'll come and we'll just start talking. And then all of a sudden it's like I start channeling, and I just know what to say so that they can clear whatever it is that's bothering them. So it just kind of, it's very natural, very organic, it just happens. It just flows.
Well, and from the time you pull in your gate to the time you park your car and get out, it's just a good vibe place. And then you have that little area off in the corner there with the circle and the benches and the stuff growing around and the plants. And
most people don't get to see that. That's kind of my little private fire circle back in the
never
back.
mind then. I shouldn't have brought that up.
Yeah,
In case Jim never sees it.
But yeah, we did have a little fire circle in the front up there on the corner, but then I thought fire maybe not the best thing for, the kids in public, because
my point was that when you're just on your property and around you, that whole, just everything about being at Prana Farms is just cool. It's just feel good, just walking through the plants and seeing the chickens. And
you should come. I think this is going to be the last weekend for the haunted walk. It is so cool. You should come and just walk through it, because we've got like 5 little different sections in lighting and in the fog machines and in sound. And it's just, I mean, it's a little rinky dink thing, but it's still very cool.
That's fun. It'll be fun. Yeah.
I'm coming out there.
Yeah.
Check it out.
What,
so
Saturday,
it'll be
Sunday, or
Friday and Saturday night from 7:30 to 11.
Okay. Friday and Saturday, 7:30 to 11. I'm going to be there. That sounds fabulous. Tell me more about this fire circle you were talking about.
Fire circle. Well, I want to. There was a time I had a little shop in North Carolina, but it didn't. We got drawn away from that. But I was doing meetup.com, like fire circles up there, like full moon fire circles. So I love the full moon, and I love to have a fire. It's something that I want to probably do, but there's so many bugs, and it's hard to control. Like these mosquitoes will carry you away out here, so it's hard to keep with the weather and the but it is something. If I can get a good clear night, I would love to do some more full moon fire circles. Definitely,
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Whereas I was actually just up in Michigan, and a few things that were happening. One, my daughter and her husband started raising chickens. So we were doing some work on their chicken run and putting up a gate, and it was neat to learn more about having chickens. I've always wanted chickens. And then it was also a full moon, and we were doing, they have a sauna and a cold plunge. So I was doing sauna cold plunging, and it was just phenomenal to get in that cold water and just look at the open sky and all the stars. And it was really a spiritual, almost meditative experience being in the cold plunge after being in the sauna. And it reminded me of Indian sweat lodges that I used to do. And when you were telling me about the fire circle, I thought, oh, that'd be cool to do Indian sweat lodges out on your property.
I would love that. It's like, bring a teepee and set it up. We'll totally do it. For real, I'm not kidding. I have a teepee tent, but like I want like a big real teepee. That would be awesome.
Well, I used to go out in Jackson, Michigan. I knew some friends that would do this, and you would show up in the morning and you would build the teepee out of sticks and branches and whatnot, then cover it, and then you go out and you collect the rocks for the fire. So it's like an all-day thing. And then you have one fire keeper and somebody that's running the inside part, and it's a process. It's not just like show up and have this experience. Now you're building it, you're creating
Right.
it, so your energy's in it. So
Exactly. And
it
you're
was a
in
really nice
nature when
experience.
you do it, and you're collecting all of these things, and you're finding all of these things. You're interacting with nature, so that's a big part of it too.
Yeah, yeah, it was just really cool. Yeah. All right, so
Absolutely.
I want to ask you, Rick's kind of new, like he doesn't really understand Reiki yet. We've kind of talked to him a little bit about it. He's not really clear on energy
Yeah, I've
work.
written that down right there. I was going to ask about that.
About what Reiki is?
Yeah,
Well,
I
let's
put it
start with
down.
that. Just explain what Reiki is.
So your body has an energy field, and it's what I guess the best way to describe it is it kind of parallels your nervous system, but it's energy, so it's more it's you can't really see it, but if you focus on it, you can feel it. So and there's different techniques, just basically practicing feeling the differences in different areas of a person. But what you're doing with Reiki is you're tapping into the energy field, and Reiki specifically brings in the power of the original like Reiki masters, the power of the healing masters, and you use certain symbols and you kind of give them permission to run their energy through you, and you give it to them to what needs to be done. You put your hands in different places on the body where you feel intuitively like there might be a blockage. I personally I like to combine the Reiki is very much set positions. Like you start, I think, with Reiki at the head, and you go down through the chakras until you hit the feet. I like to combine it with what is healing touch. So healing touch has a lot of technique to it, but Reiki has a lot of power to it. So healing touch has different techniques for clearing energy. So like you imagine like light coming out of the tips of your fingers and being like magnets, and you set the intention. So you say, okay, I'm the master, and I'm going to say that anything that doesn't belong here is going to just attach to this magnetic light coming out of my fingers, and you run it down the body, and you can just swoop it away, and you can feel it when you tap into it and focus into it. You can feel it picking up things, and you can feel where there's heavier spots, slower spots. And the more you connect with the energy, the more sensitive you get to it, and the better you can find blockages and things that need to be cleared. And when you find those, there's different techniques for getting rid of them. So what happens
What do you
is,
mean by a blockage?
so so we'll say like if a trauma happened to you. So it is my belief that we're a collective. We come from a whole. We all come from one source, and we're all one little drop of God, if you will. So we are energy. We're an energy that's come down into this body, and we have many different lives. And every time we have a trauma in our life, we get killed in a certain way. Say you get killed and you get your arm chopped off. So you're going to have a blockage. You're going to have a trauma in that arm. Okay. So maybe you lost your arm and you lost your blood and you died, whatever. You're going to have a trauma in that arm until it's been energetically cleared out. So when you clear the energy, the physical is able to get cleared out. So you say, as is above, so is below. If there is a blockage in the energy field, there's going to be a matching blockage in the physical field. So you can't completely clear the physical if the energy has not been cleared. So it's a balance. We're on a planet of duality, so everything has to balance it out. So in order for the physical to clear, the energetic has to clear. So it's just like the energy doesn't flow because something stopped it, because you had a trauma there, something bad happened there, the energy got stopped.
Okay.
And it doesn't flow. It needs to keep moving, like the waves, like the water has to keep moving, but it's like a dam got there because it got blocked and it's not flowing as it was intended. So
Okay,
when
I
you do
understand where you're going with
Reiki,
that.
yeah, you're clearing the blockage, you're clearing the trauma, and traumas can be from all different types of things.
I'm really glad you're explaining this. We've had a couple people on the show recently who talked about working with energy, and the last one, Andrea McDonald, said, some people might think of it as whackery, to use her words, and I think Rick's kind of thought of it as a little bit of whackery. So I think coming from you and someone he knows, he's
Whoa, hold on.
yeah.
Because you have to give that some context.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
dude up in Michigan,
Okay, Paul Hess.
no, with his little ring test thing.
Yeah.
No.
So what that is a connection to your subconscious mind. So basically, when I said that we are God, okay, we are very powerful beings. And we have just one little drop of us in this body, and we're all connected through that energy. And so what it is it's tapping into that field when you're connected, and it's like the internet. Okay, so when you ask a question, you type it into Google, it gives you the answer. When you ask the universe a question and you're connected to your higher self or to God or to source or whatever you want to call it, you're asking the universe a question, the universe is answering you just like Google would. This is a connection to it's called a muscle test. And if you tell a lie, your muscles weaken because your energy knows it's not true, and you lose your strength and your power. If you have truth, you're going to be strong and it's going to hold true. So
Well,
if you can connect to that.
My skepticism came from what Jim was bringing up on this guy that said by doing this little ring thingy off my grocery list, he could cure me of my ails, and he didn't even have to see me or talk to me. And that's where I'm like, come on.
Okay, so what he's saying is
this guy is a stretch.
Okay, he can tap into your energy field and tell you what is good for you. And that, if you get a person that is connected enough to your energy field or able to connect to your energy signature, he can get that information. But it's going to be, you're going to have a hard time believing it. But what he's doing is just like with the Amish doctors, they push your arm down, and it tells you how strong your will is to that answer. So if he does a thing for you and it shows that your will is weak for that product, then that means that it's not good for your body. It can be accurate depending on the person that's doing it, depending on how clear their field is. You can get distorted information. If you get somebody that's using a lot of substances or something like that, even though they're very well connected, they can have a distortion, a cloud in their field because they're not clear. So all of this information is possible, but it depends on how clear your channel is as to how accurate it is.
I think we might have swayed him like 1% of his skepticism here, but
that's okay. Fortune
yeah,
tellers, I have a huge problem with, because there's so many potentialities. Every time you make a choice, there's another branch of reality. You're creating another dimension because you're here to experience everything there is to possibly experience in every way that there is to experience it. So every single choice you have done, it just creates another timeline and another little shoot, right? Which there's an endless number of them. So to read somebody's fortune, you never know which reality they are going to want to be aware of at any given time. So it's just a potential. There's no guarantee that any of that's going to happen, because you might decide you want to go look over this way when you have a split of choices. You can have any reality that you choose. You can say, I want to have a reality where I'm always happy and I never have any problems. And as long as you always focus on that, that's what you'll get. But if you're always saying that's not possible, then that's what you'll get. You get wherever you put your attention, that's what you get.
Now that energy, I'm 100% player in.
It's very, very simple.
I agree with you there.
Yeah. So
just this morning, I had an energy issue in my house. Carrie got up and I was doing I got up really early. I got like a 6:50 and I got on my laptop. I started just prepping for the day because knew I was going to be busy today. And then I don't even know what it was. She couldn't find some. Oh no, I must have threw away her car registration that she just got renewed. So it had to be me. And she starts going bananas. I'm like, stop. You can't come at me with this energy at 7 o'clock in the morning. This is way
Mm-mm,
bad. We need to
mm-mm.
regroup. And I know when you find it, you're going to, probably not apologize for yelling at me, but still, you know what I mean? I don't ever want that. And that energy, I'm 100% player in because it does affect, you know,
And
I
other people's energy affects you. And I
oh, for
keep getting
sure.
people telling me I have a right to be angry. And I'm like, you know what? You have every right on this planet to be angry, but I have a right to not be around your anger.
Yeah, I don't want to participate in that.
Or to get sucked into it.
So, but I keep, it's like you can express whatever you want to express, but if somebody's expressing something that doesn't resonate with you, you don't have to be around it. You have the choice. Go somewhere else, do something else, find something that makes you happy. Our whole purpose, our whole reason for being on this planet is to be happy. That's our job. Be happy. And just find one thing in your life that makes you happy, that you want to go do, that you look forward to doing. And that is, then your job is done. Just like your one smoothie a day. Find one thing that makes you happy and drink a smoothie, and that's it. That's my recommendation. Go outside and step in the dirt and smell the flowers.
There you go. I really enjoy podcasting. I think this is great.
It's
Meeting so
pretty
many
cool.
neat
I like it.
people, building more community, and learning so much. It's been wonderful.
Well, and that's the thing in the, how many episodes are we at now, by the way? We got to be in the 30s.
30 some, yeah.
So we're going at this pretty consistent. We just bumped what a 1,200 or something download. So we have momentum, and it's gonna take a while, but we're kind of, well, JP especially puts a ton of work in it. It is a lot of fun. But the best thing for me, I mean, I've known you and about you. We've never really had these kind of deeper conversations as far as all this energy field and stuff like that. But every week I meet someone cool that is a vegetarian eater or the
They
guys
eat
who
vegetarians.
yeah. I mean, I know
Not recommended.
we got these guys up in Montreal, the Magliara brothers. They're coming back on, I guess, in a couple weeks. I saw on the calendar, and we met them a few months ago. And they make organic dog food, healthy dog food for a local group in Montreal. And they're chefs and they're cool guys. And then the other doctors and psychologists and this or that, hypnotherapists. Man, I get a little bit out of this every week as far as just like Jim said, just learning stuff. And I don't know nothing about Reiki, but I do now. And now next week when someone else talks about it, I'll at least have an idea. But you were the best explanation of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
thank you.
I'm going to give them a little Reiki demonstration after the podcast tonight. Just
Awesome.
let him feel a little bit of energy.
I'm getting out of here as soon as we're done and going to watch hockey.
So this will take 2 minutes.
No, I'm out.
2 minutes. So yeah, I was actually certified in Reiki. I think it was level 2. I can't remember if I did my master or not. It's been quite a few years, but you also mentioned that I would like to talk about the hypnosis work that you're doing. You mentioned quantum hypnosis healing technique, and I haven't heard of that hypnosis technique before.
Okay, so that is it's the Dolores Cannon method, and what she did was she would hypnotize her subject. I think it started with her husband and then she took it over. She would hypnotize her subject and she would transcribe the session and she would ask them questions. So she would guide them to a past life, or she would guide. So basically when you come in, you're talking again to the higher self. So you have your ego mind, which is the mind in your physical body, which is we all know the ego mind. And then you have your higher self, which is the God part of us, the source part of us that knows our plan, what's best for us, what is going to be in our highest and best interest. So it starts out of show me a lifetime that is going to be the most helpful for this person, that's going to be in their highest and best interest to see. Show me what is going to help them the most at this time. Okay, and then you do a hypnosis and guide them to that place or that lifetime or whatever it is that they need to see that's going to help them clear whatever's bothering them right now. So, and it may not even be what they came in for. They may come in to quit smoking and then realize that they have a huge blockage and the reason why they're actually smoking. Or you know what I'm saying? It's like you really don't know where
Mhm.
you're going to go. But because, and so I'm going to kind of go off track a little bit here right now, but the lifetime we're in right now, we are at the end of an earth cycle. We're at the end of all the cycles. And this life, at least for me, I mean, everybody chooses the reality they experience, is the way I like to put it. This life for me is accumulation of all of my lifetimes that I've ever had. So what they say is if you can clear the traumas from all of your previous lives, through everything you clear through this lifetime that has come from a previous life will also clear that trauma in that previous life. It's quantum. We are connected to every lifetime we've ever had through an invisible energy, quantum energy field, which we know the quantum field is there. It's been discovered, but it's just really hard to kind of describe it. But everything that happens to us in this lifetime affects every other lifetime we've ever had, and vice versa. So everything, all of the traumas that I'm clearing right now in my body, and I have a lot of aches and pains and stuff that are clearing. A lot of them are not from this lifetime. It's not something that I've actually injured physically in this lifetime. It's phantom pains that come out of nowhere. These are pains from previous lives that need to be cleared, that we're clearing right now because we're in the ascension. We are coming out of all of the old. We're coming out of the Pisces, the age of control, and we're coming into Aquarius, the age of mind expansion. And it's like the phoenix rising out of the ashes. And that's kind of our symbol at Prana, is coming up out of the ashes and rising into the new earth. And that's the ascension. That's what it's all about. So I help people to understand energy, what energy is, what ascension is, what it means to ascend, what a vibration is, that we are energetic beings having a physical experience. That's my jam. That's what I'm about, and that's what Prana Farms is about, helping just people understand what's going on right now, because everything that's going on right now is a metaphor for everything in the Bible, is a metaphor for what's going on right now. It's the end of the cycle. It's the end of the old. We're coming into the new. We're getting rid of the old way of thinking. The church is phasing out. It's all of the old is going to phase out or blow up or whatever you want to call it. And the new is coming in, and it's a totally different energy. And we know that. We see that with these millennials, with these kids. They don't want to work. They want to do things differently. We're not slaves anymore. We're not going to be slaves anymore. And they know that. And that's why they don't want to work. And that's why they don't want to do it the way we've always done it, because that's old energy. And we're done with that. We're coming into the new energy, and AI is going to help us do that. They're going to do all the little stuff that we don't want to do. And as long as it's done with love, we don't have to worry about them taking over. As long as people aren't in it for the wrong reasons, for greed and control, because that's the only way that AI is going to ever hurt us. And I
Wow,
don't think that that's possible.
Yeah, that greed and control is how we got into the mess that we're in now, for sure.
But that's old. That's the old energy, and that's why it
Yeah.
has to go, and that's why it has to blow up. And all of the powers that be will die off and phase out. And when they do, the youth will come and they have new ways, and it's going to be beautiful. The old energy is afraid of it, but I promise you that it's all in design perfection. It's just exactly how it's supposed to be.
You were gonna say something, right?
No, I'm just trying to take in what Resa was saying. That's kind of heavy. Gonna have to listen to that one over again. No, because I kind of get it, and you can see it happening.
Yeah,
And
you see it. It's all
and-
happening. We're living it. There's so many people on this planet right now because we all came to experience this. This is the accumulation. This is the end. This is the end of the old and into the new. Those that don't want to come into the new energy, they don't have to. They're not even aware of what we're doing right now. It's not even on their radar. They won't even know what they're missing. That old energy is still there. But those that don't want to be in it and want to come into the new, it's available to you.
Well,
All you have to do is clear.
I almost feel that if I can see that the possibility of that happening, and I also see that there could be a fork in the road, and as this
Everybody has a choice. There absolutely is a fork.
As this destruction's happening, there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a societal shift that's going to go this way or this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you're absolutely right, that depending on which way we go and which way those millennials and the unworkers, if you want to call them that, I'm worried about what their decisions will be, because to take the easy way out is never the best way.
I can tell you, as is above, so is below. So whatever's in the energy will be in the physical. And time is tricky. Time is not in all of the dimensions. We do have time here on Earth so that we can absorb things, so that we can absorb them as they happen. If everything happened all at one time, we wouldn't be able to process it properly. So we have time to space out our experiences, so that, because this is a school, Earth is a school. So we have time to process everything. But when you're in spirit, there is no such thing as time. So everything has happened. It just, we're down here to let it play out on the stage. It's also so everything has already happened in spirit. The light has already won. The light has already won. So there's no chance. Okay. So those that wish the light to have won, that is exactly what they'll experience, because you choose the reality you experience. Those that don't want to live in the light, that want to stay in the lower, slower vibration, they have that choice, and they can stay there and they'll be perfectly happy there. So you have a choice, and it's not like nobody's being left behind, nobody's being blown up or destroyed. Everybody's going to be where they're comfortable. And the higher your vibration, and the reason why I'm doing all this is because I know that the higher my vibration, the less pain I'll have. The slower your vibration, the disease thrives in that slow, heavy, sticky environment that is a lower vibration. When you get faster, it's like a top spinning. A top spins really, really fast, and you can't hardly even see it anymore. It gets so fast. When your vibration gets spinning faster and faster, because we are light, which is sound, which moves, it vibrates. And when we vibrate faster, disease cannot even attach to us. It's like a refrigerator magnet, and that's not strong enough. It just it won't even stick, because we're just moving too fast. So as we raise our vibration, we have no other choice but to be lighter and to be healthier.
I just made a connection with something I saw yesterday online, and I'm addicted to, like, I go to Twitter or X now, and I just flip through shorts, and I look at, whatever they feed me, whatever they want me to know. But when I came across the moment of conception, and it showed the sperm getting into the egg, and then this boom, this flash of light.
Mm-hmm.
And they have seen this happen. And so it's not just like they don't know why or what. Theories are, okay, it has something to do with zinc, and I didn't get into it as much as I'd like to, so there's very anecdotal at this point. But people are arguing, certain people, or especially on the religious side, that is the soul entering, making a being.
The soul. So from what I've known through my years, and I have read and studied a lot about this, is the soul will go in and out of the body, especially at a very young age, and up to the age of 5 or 7, it'll come in and go out. Usually when you're sleeping, when they're sleeping, it's popped out. There's no reason to be in that little body, And then I don't want to really get into this because it'll probably freak Rick out, but there is soul swapping. there is like, you have agreements, all kinds of agreements, and we're here to experience all kinds of things. So this is a school. We come here to learn. Say you come to learn forgiveness, unconditional love, right? How are you going to learn forgiveness? We travel in spirit families, right? So you and I, Rick, say we're spirit families. You want to learn forgiveness. I'll tell you what, we're going to go to Earth, and all of these things are going to happen. We lay out our whole path. We plan our lessons, what we want to learn. If you're on your path, it's very, very easy. When you go off your path, then you stray, things get very difficult. But if that's how you can tell you're on your path, because everything flows very, very easily. So over here, I'm going to be 15 years old. You're going to come up out of the bush. You're going to hit me in the back of the head with a doorknob. And then I'm going to have to learn how to forgive you. And that's the lesson. And then if I don't learn how to forgive you, then someone else is going to come down the road and they're going to do something else to me, and I'm going to have to learn how to forgive them. And that lesson will keep coming around and around and around until you learn how to forgive. It's
So
just will. And so we get looped, we get stuck, and you see it with relationships all the time. It's of somebody that doesn't want to take care of themselves. They want someone else to take care of them. So they get in a relationship, somebody they think is going to take care of them, and they don't. And it's over and over and over because they don't want to take care of themselves. That's their lesson. You have to do it yourself. You can't have somebody else do it for you. That's why it's never going to work if you don't, you have to do the work, And once we learn the lesson, we can move on to the next lesson. And it's like merit badges. This is a very hard school. They say this is one of the hardest schools in the whole multiverse. It's, and this is the graduating class, those of us that have, that have been around and done it over and over. And you can tell the ones that have the wisdom. So we're not intended really to remember all of the details of our past lives, but we should remember the wisdom, the gem that we took from it. Like, hey, if that what anger does to you, or what it feels like to be betrayed. When you learn these lessons and in your soul and what it feels like, you're not going to do that to somebody else. And that is how you're going to learn unconditional love, because you're going to say, you know what, I don't want to do this to that person because I know how it feels to have it done to me. Because you've had lifetime after lifetime of betrayal until finally you're like, you know what, I don't want this anymore. And because I don't want it, I'm not going to put it out there. Everything we put out there comes back to us.
Yeah.
karma.
No, that's
So,
okay. No,
yeah.
I kind of, I feel like I process it. You guys are talking or you're talking and I'm processing this, and I'm like the guy that gets the joke like 5 minutes later.
But that's okay. And that's why we
Yeah.
call it processing. That's why we have time. And I talk really fast and I have so much going on up here that I put a lot out there really quickly and try to slow down a little bit.
No, what I was saying about that little flash of light, that's the connection I made with the energy field. And so if maybe we'll go up to say 8% instead of 1%.
There's
All
a
right. Hey,
meditation.
that's
There's a
progress.
meditation for I think it's for your crown
Mm-hmm.
or your third eye, but you envision a flame on a candle, and you are that flame. You are light. You are the flame of a candle. That is the drop that's in your body, is the flame of a candle. That's your soul. And it lives in there in your solar plexus. And it is a spark. And when it enters and leaves your body, it sparks. Like when the sun hits the water, and you see the little green fairy. Same thing. It's like the sun's soul
Amen.
going to sleep at night.
So,
Yeah.
Rick, I don't think he really understands what chakras are. We've had a really short discussion on chakras, but we'll get there later.
So your body's energy system, it connects through the top of your head to heaven, or the astral, or the spirit world, whatever you want to call it, and the bottom of your feet to the earth. So you want to open the bottom of your feet and ground to the earth. So you've got 7 main chakras, which are energy centers that bring energy into the body. And each chakra correlates with a different color, a different frequency, a different organ. And so you have your crown chakra, that's the top of your head, opens like a lotus blossom. It connects you to the astral. Then you have your third eye, which you've heard of before, that lets you see kind of in the spirit realm or other dimensions, or what you see in your mind's eye that's not actually in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got your throat chakra, which is communication. And then you have your heart chakra. Your heart is your bridge between the astral and the physical. So it's the love connection. It has its own energy field, your heart. Then you've got your solar plexus, which is kind of a little bit below your heart chakra. Its color is yellow, and it connects you to like your family. Like you get your gut feeling. Everything in your chakra is a metaphor. So like your shoulders, your shoulders bother you. You feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. That means you're worrying that you're taking on too much in your life. Your body will tell you by pain messages, where your issues are. But anyways, let me go back to the chakras. So anyways, after your solar plexus, you have your sacral, which is orange. That's kind of your self-love, kind of your sexuality. And then you've got your root chakra, which connects you to the earth, which is your survival instinct, that keeps you kind of your survival, that grounds you. So those are your 7 basic chakras. So if everything is open and flowing properly, they'll be spinning clockwise like a top, and they'll be bringing energy into that area of your body. So if you have a chakra that's blocked, it can like not spin. It's not bringing in energy into your body. It can actually leak energy, or you can have a chakra going the wrong way that's actually pouring energy out of your body. So your chakras are energetic centers that kind of control the different regions of your body.
All right, I'm going to make it a point to research this chakra thing.
Uh-huh.
No, because it keeps coming up, and I need to get more versed in this terminology because I just want
Even
to.
if you just learn about those 7 major ones.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
That'd be cool. So I'm curious.
There's a lot of other chakras, yeah.
Yeah, like 110 total. So you mentioned around 2003 is when you started this spiritual journey. Who have been your main teachers or main books, authors that you've read, and where you're mostly getting this learning?
Barbara Brennan had a healing school. She passed on, and I think her daughter has it now, but she was big. She was a big into, but I'm a very much a self-study.
Sure.
I really prefer more of an isolation, and to stay holed up, I kind of have to make myself go out, into public. But when you're sensitive and you're empathic, it's kind of sometimes hard to be around a lot of other energies. So a lot of it is just self-taught, things that interest me. And I like Louise Hayes is one of my favorites, and that's what I was saying. So when you have a pain in your body, it's your body is actually giving you a message. And so, like, I'll give you an example. I was walking way too much, doing all of this stuff for the festival, and all of a sudden, it was like my ankle spoke to me. All of a sudden, I didn't twist it or put any weight on it funny, but it was like, I'm done walking. I don't want to walk anymore. And it just, all of a sudden, I couldn't put any weight on it. And it was really weird. I didn't do anything to it, but I couldn't put any weight on it. And my ankle literally spoke to me and said, I don't want to walk anymore. You need to go sit down. Had I not been tuned into that and heard it say that and kept going, then I probably would have twisted it and sprained it and had to go sit down. Because if you don't listen to your body will do it for you. If most of the time, everything happens for a reason. If you are laid up in bed, there is probably a reason why you're there. You are doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, and that you've had signs to stop or slow down or do something different, and you weren't taking them. And the universe stopped you. It said, nope, you're done with that. Find something new. And depending on how badly you want to, and the universe is actually you. It's your higher self giving you guidance. Your guides are all a version of you, and however we create it to make ourselves comfortable. But it's you telling yourself you need to stop. You're not on your path. You're not doing what you should be doing. And we try to point ourselves in the right direction. It's like we're the children down here trying to operate this avatar, right? And our higher self is like the controller up there with the remote control, or the parent or whatever, saying, okay, no, you go over here, it's trying to guide us and keep us on the path. And we're just like, because we forget we're not connected. For all different reasons, which we know. But, the more we connect, the more everything flows, the better we feel, the happier we are.
For sure.
Well, and a lot of what you're saying kind of is analogous with, a lot of religions, do the right thing, hang around with the right people,
it's all a metaphor. Every religion is a metaphor. It's all the same metaphor. And if you speak to anyone that channels, which is what I'm doing, is channeling whatever from whoever, our higher selves, they all say the same thing. Anybody that's really connected to spirit, and I teach also to learn how to know what's truth, because we get lied to so much. So truth to me, if it goes through my brain and my shit detector doesn't go off. It's like, okay, is it logical? Is it plausible? Does it make sense? It makes it through my mind. Okay. Then does it make it through my heart? If it makes it through my heart, if I don't feel right about it, even after, then I'm out. It's not true. But if it makes it through my heart, especially if I get goosebumps on something, if I say, is this truth? I'll get goosebumps all over my body. That's a yes. Your body will speak to you, but you just have to be aware, sensitive enough to feel the different things in your body. When we're not paying attention, we're going really fast. We've got all kinds of chemicals and who knows what. You're not going to feel anything in your body except for pain, because you don't listen. Your body's put you out. It's saying, up, you're done, go sit down. This hurts you, that hurts you. It will start putting things out of commission until you get the rest that you need, or until you do what. So we get messages all the time, and it's always if it's a problem with your legs or your knees, it's typically you're not moving in the direction you intended for yourself. If it's a problem with arthritis in your hands and things, it's holding on to something too tightly. You have to let things flow. You can't try to control something that's out of your control. Your throat, if you have a problem with your throat, it's almost always communication. You're not able to speak your truth. You're being held down, or you're speaking too much of your truth. It's something with communication. Yeah. And truth. So it's all, and Louise Hayes has the book, but everything is a metaphor. Religion is a metaphor, and it all goes back to energy. Everything in energy is a metaphor. When you're green with envy, that's your heart chakra. When you're cowardice, that's your solar plexus. You're yellow with fear, that's your solar plexus. When you're angry, your aura will actually turn red. I have a turkey, Mr. Whiskey. You've met Mr. Whiskey. When he gets mad, his whole head and his wattle, everything turns bright red. But his head will change with his mood.
He snuck out from behind a doghouse and looked at Rocky, and Rocky had never seen a turkey.
Oh, I remember.
And Rocky is my 7-pound Yorkie, and he's like, whoa, what is going on with this guy?
He's a big turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big turkey. Well, Resa.
Oh, wait, we got to ask her the $1 million question here. Resa McLaney, what are you doing to make the world a better place?
Teaching people how to feel better and be happy.
That's a worthwhile thing, for sure.
And hopefully get rid of their anger. There's so much anger right now.
There is. Well, I'd love to have you
back. It's not your anger.
Let
me tell you, it's not your anger. Just think that every time you get angry, where did it come from? It's not mine.
Oh, there you go.
Great. Excellent. I look forward to meeting you this weekend. I'm going to come out and check out your place. That should be awesome. And thank you so much for being on the show. We've really enjoyed it.
I told you she'd be awesome.
She is. You are right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. See you guys this weekend.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Great, Resa. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye.
So if you just listen to this podcast and you appreciate the content and the work that we're doing, we would love your support. Look in the comment section of this episode. Subscribe, rate us, comment. This gets our podcast in front of other listeners. And if you noticed, we don't have advertisers. For the cost of a cup of coffee, you can help keep it this way. Become a supporter right now. We'd appreciate it. I'm Jim the Yogi.
I'm Rick the Beach Man.